So, let's talk about Project Eagle. What is Project Eagle? How is it that Project Eagle can completely check election rigging in Nigeria? How? Why is it that Peter Obi or any other opposition candidate for that matter, indeed, any patriotic Nigerian needs Project Eagle to successfully check election rigging in Nigeria? How? Let us break down the different components of Project Eagle. First of all, Project Eagle is a 7-action plan project to stop election rigging in Nigeria. 7-action plan, starting from 1 right through to 7. Each of these action plans contributes to stopping one particular strategy of election rigging in Nigeria. I'll run through it. Number 1 is electoral reforms. And here, clearly, what we need is along the lines of Electoral Act amendment to make sure that it is mandatory for INEC to transmit election results real time from the polling units straight to the National Collation Center and then published instantly, real time, collated automatically. The manual thing should just be for backup and for administrative purposes. This is the very first action plan. Electoral reforms or electoral amendments. Now, this one depends on the people in National Assembly, on TINUBU'S boys there. Now, number 2 through to 7 do not. Second action plan is political party reforms. We as Nigerians must ask ourselves this question. Are we going to wait until election day for us to stop rigging? If we wait for election day, is it not already too late to stop rigging? If we are going to prevent rigging, it must start now. We must put measures in place to make sure that rigging is impossible on election day. And the second action plan that we must engage in is political party reforms. Right now, the way the political parties are structured, ask yourself, can you, watching this video, pay for the nomination forms of any of these political parties, even when they say it is free? Can you? The fact that you need a lot of money to run elections in Nigeria is because of the political parties. If the political parties are sincere enough to say nomination form is free, we won't give forms to any member of the party that has not been a member for at least 2 years, so that at least you guard and shield off the political vultures that decamp during party primaries. If a political party decides that our mode of primaries is going to be direct primaries, so you eliminate the bottleneck of delegates, which is where corruption actually starts again. Do you think that if these are done at the political parties, do you think that people will be able to now force themselves as political godfathers on political parties? They won't. Do you think that it is only people who have stolen or people who know people who have stolen that will now be able to run for elections? Do you think so? So we need political party reforms. We need to call on the political parties to do the right thing. No political party should charge fees for nomination form. This is why people are running away to look for new political parties to register. If the APC and the PDP and the Labour Party and the political parties as we have them right now create level playing field for all Nigerians, such that you don't need to pay for nomination forms, you don't need the delegate system or consensus system, where the corrupt people gathered themselves together and they planned their state capture. If we have a level playing field where the primaries are direct, where even the primary elections are electronic, such that even Nigerians in diaspora can participate from wherever they are in the world. If we had that, do you think that people will be looking to create new political parties? If they do, it will be minimal and it will be based on ideological differences. But right now, the APC, the PDP, the Labour Party, just name it, they are gatekeepers for shielding off Nigerians with good intention, but shallow pockets. They are gatekeepers. So, apart from number one, electoral amendment, we need to engage number two, to call for political party reforms. We need that. Number three is, if we have the Electoral Act passed and it is amended to make electronic transmission of results, electronic collation of results, and real-time publishing or display of the results from the polling unit, it is passed. That is going to be a tall order because it is TINUBU'S boys you have in the National Assembly. But we can make them do what we want because power ultimately belongs to the people, even though it seems they have hijacked it. Now, even if we get the Electoral Act amended and passed, and we are able to get Tinubu to assent to it, yeah? And then we get the political parties to engage in the reform. Does that mean that we as Nigerians will now sit down and say, yes, we have done it, let INEC now do the right thing? No. We will take it a step further and go to the third action plan, which is real-time election monitoring from our end with polling unit marshals. It means that we must have an application that helps us as Nigerians to collate, first of all, get the results from the polling units, and then we collate that result, and then we transmit it on our website parallel to that of INEC, such that ours will even be faster than that of INEC. That is the third action plan. And we need both technology and people for this to happen, this third step. The technology will be a web application that we have called Vote Vision. But the people, we will need a network of volunteers that will form the polling unit marshals. The polling unit marshals, 600,000 of them, networked across the 189,000 polling units in Nigeria, will be the foundation for entering the polling unit results from the polling unit into Vote Vision, where Vote Vision will automatically collate that result and display it real time in a website that we shall make available. So, Vote Vision with the polling unit marshal forms the third action plan, which is real-time election monitoring. And with that, we can put INEC in check. Now, what happens if INEC decides to do their normal wuru-wuru, and then the security agencies decide to turn their normal blind eye, and the thugs come and do their magic, disrupt the things in the collation center like they normally do. And then because they come shooting guns in the air, disrupting people, and people being afraid for their lives, run. And a running man cannot be videoing. The situation now becomes such that there are no evidence. You don't actually capture the voices, the faces of anybody who is actually doing these things. Then the police will now say there's no evidence. Then you will actually not now have evidence to take in court. You will now need to rely on INEC for the arsenal to defend your case in court. No tenable or admissible evidence can be got when thugs come into collation centers and polling units shooting in the air. And that is why we need the fourth action plan, which is actually designed to help capture evidence as we go, such that once the election has ended, we have all the evidence, both in video, both in pictures, both in audio, both in data, to go to court the very next day. And the evidence will be so airtight that the judiciary will have no leeway, nowhere to hide to declare a wrong election as valid. Right now, they have always succeeded to tell us, go to court, because they know that we don't have sufficient admissible evidence to present. That was what we suffered in 2023. And even Peter Obi has admitted it. Many notable Nigerians have admitted it. But what have we done to make sure that once the election closes, we have all the legal admissible evidence that we need to to defend the election results in court? Because with the third action plan, vote vision, we have all the data evidence to go to court. But with the fourth action plan, which is actually the Camp Guard is miniature Wi-Fi cameras that have batteries built in to last 24 hours and are even able to work with solar. They are so small, they are the size of my fingertips, such that you can just take one or two of them and put them in places you can't even know, in the polling unit area or in the collation center area. So that is the Camp Guard. And guess what? We have an app to aggregate the real-time transmitted video evidence, picture evidence, and audio evidence from those Camp Guards. At least, minimum, we will have over 10,000 of those Camp Guards, because we have over 901 wards. So our focus primarily will be at the collation centers from the ward level up. But once we have, or if we have the resources, we will take it beyond that and take it to as many of the polling units as possible. And then we'll have a situation whereby these Wi-Fi cameras are able to transmit real-time data into the web application that will help us aggregate the evidences, such that with the push of a button, the evidence is there for us to present. And working with the third action plan, which is the vote vision, we are able to see in real time, where do we have overvoting? Where do we have illegal voting? Where do we have over accreditation? We are able to see that all in real time. And when the discrepancies are actually very, very significant, we are seeing it real time. 2027 will not be the same with Project Eagle, particularly with the different action plan in it. So Camp Guard will take care of evidence and ensure that the data we have from the third action plan, which is vote vision, is admissible in court to defend our mandate, the mandate of the people. Now, the fifth action plan is deweaponizing poverty in Nigeria. Poverty has been weaponized by the ruling elites to make sure that the poor continue to look up to them for welfare. And so, he who pays the piper dictates the tune. So if the hungry people that they have made, that their policies have made, see that the only way they get help is through the same corrupt politicians, what will happen? The same hungry people will do the bidding of the same corrupt politicians. That's what will happen. What will happen will be more of vote selling. You'll be wondering, why will people sell their votes for 1,000 naira, for 500 naira, for 10,000 naira, for Indomie? Why? It's because of the weaponization of poverty. And guess what? That is what the Well Fund tackles WellFund tackles the weaponization of poverty. We de-weaponize poverty with WellFund. And it is simple. It is a welfare for swimming swap. It is a teach the people to fish rather than give them fish. It is a different approach. WellFund. The politicians think that when it is election time, they can take a small portion of their stolen wealth, take a small portion of it and use it to dangle baits, dangle palliatives in front of the people. And a hungry man thinks with his stomach, not with his brain. No matter how much we abuse Nigerians, that, oh, why don't they get smart enough to know they cannot sell their votes? No matter how much we do that, they will still sell it if they are hungry. So we need a weapon to de-weaponize the weaponized poverty. And that weapon is WellFund. Teaching people to fish rather than the option of corrupt politicians giving them palliatives during election time. Palliatives that will not last them even a day, not to talk of 4 years. So we have to tackle the problem head on from the source. We can't wait for election day. Like I said earlier, if we wait for election day, it is already too late. WellFund takes care of that. Then number 6, which is the 6th action plan, is law patrol. One of the first things they do is to destroy the rule of law and to destroy due process. And how do they destroy the rule of law? They make pursuit of justice to be very, very expensive and takes a lot of energy. So many times in Nigeria, when Nigerians have their rights violated, because they don't have the financial capacity, they don't have the time because they have to work, they don't have the time to begin to pursue a case, they don't have the mind and the mental capacity, they just leave it like that. And because they leave it, what happens? Impunity continues to reign. We need to be able to come together to be able to defend the rights of Nigerians. If we fight individually, it becomes weak. What happens when they pick a very dark man or they pick an ordinary Ahmed Issa? When we act individually, you know how a broom is. It is easy for a person, even a child, to just break the broomstick. But when we band together like a broom, even the strongest Iron Man or Superman cannot break the broom. We need to come together to fight breach of the rule of law, disrespect for the rule of law. We need to come together, and that is what Law Patrol does. When we fight this breach of the rule of law together, we take power from corrupt people and we bring everybody to be subject to the law, which is what rule of law is supposed to do in the first place. So that is the 6th action plan. The 7th action plan combines all of these into a political party that is actually a grassroots political engine. And that is the Abundance Party. We must form a party that creates a level playing field for all Nigerians. If not, what we'll have will be a recycling of the same political vampires. We don't want that. There are 2 things we must take into consideration in 2027. Peter Obi winning the election is just one part of the victory that Nigeria needs. The second part is all of the National Assembly members, all of the senators, all of the House of Rep members, the state houses of assembly, the governors, they also must be checked. In fact, the ones that are there right now, the likes of Akpabio, they must not return. And the only way we can ensure that and guarantee that is to make sure that we have a political party like Abundance Party. And we need you to make this possible. So these are the 7 action plan that constitutes Project Eagle. Tell me, with what I've said so far, do you think this can stop election rigging in Nigeria? Do you think this will help genuine candidates like Peter Obi to guarantee their victory in 2027? Do you think this will help the people to open up the political space such that people with integrity can participate? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. But then again, there is a way to maximize the information or the solution that Project Eagle actually delivers. We'll talk about it in the strategy that we believe Peter Obi and all opposition candidates must implement to make sure we rescue and take back Nigeria in 2027. It's beyond, it's not about fighting Tinubu, it's beyond Tinubu. We have to take back our country. So that strategy, what exactly is it? Let's talk about it in the next video.